What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got a nice volcanic versus pendulum duel for you guys to check out. As my homie Triff Gaming would often say, stick to the game plan. This is why you gotta stick to the plan, guys. If you're playing pendulums and you don't know what you're doing, I think that your best course of action is probably to try to make as many negation cards as possible. Really have as many disruptive cards that your opponent is going to struggle to play around. I played against Triff on my live stream on Saturday nights, and he played his new pendulum deck, the one that's on Team Samurai's channel, and oh my god, I can say that it is completely real. It looks weird on paper because it's a bunch of cards, got a whole lot of, fluctuating engines and whatnot, but it's a very incredibly strong deck, and man, if that deck gets its negations on board, it's almost impossible to actually play through it. So this guy is obviously playing a deck that is inspired by Triff's, maybe not his deck card for card, but this is kind of what it looks like when an inexperienced player plays with the deck and doesn't make the most optimal fields. Volcanics at the bottom. Volcanics are one of the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That I feel like you cannot make, you can't make weak boards against Volcanics, because at any given time, obviously, they can just scatter shot you off the reload and then you lose everything and you take burn damage. But yeah, I hadn't kind of seen people play like this in a while. And when I say play like this, I'm talking about plays where they make like 3 Electromites turn 1. Guess they can't do this in the OCG, but the plays are actually pretty damn crazy that you can get to. So he has his triple Electromites, but I don't think that he knows exactly where he's supposed to go. Firewall's a nice touch. I was looking at Firewall, I was like, okay. He has Jackal on board, which is nice too. He got a nice Pendulum Summon. Goes for Nightmare Goblin. Goes for Nightmare Griffin, but then he goes for Underclock Taker and then just kind of stops. And this Jackal is actually not online. Now, if this Jackal was online, this would at least be a pretty decent board, because he would have his Firewall kind of like linked up. He'd have his Nightmare Griffin to where it would be difficult for, monsters that are like special summoned to use their abilities. And then he would have his Jackal too. So, I think that would actually be kind of nice. But unfortunately, this is just not the matchup for him, as his opponent's just going to kind of wall up. He uses his Firewall bounce. I think that might have been just like incredibly premature. Maybe he's thinking, all right, Cap, well, I've got enough damage on board to just kill this guy. I think that's the win con, because he has 25, 25, 24. I mean, that's almost game right there. And then he has obviously the Underclock Taker to just kind of be that extra bit of damage to OTK. Plus he has Dark Worm, so he doesn't really need to do anything else. But boom, he's going to get scatter shotted. And obviously he's going to lose everything. So goodbye to that really nice field. He takes some burn damage as well. Man, I really wish Volcanics, I really like Volcanics as a deck. I think that they need maybe one more monster card or something like that. Phoenix Chain used on the Toon Magician and Tuning Magician, I believe, in the TCG, and unfortunately it's not going to get its effect off. Now, the cool thing is he does have the Royal Firestone Guards to basically recover all his cards and draw 2, and then he has the Magic Planner to draw 2 more, and then scatter shot him again. This is the second scatter shot if you're keeping track. So he's going to eat another 1500 damage. Now, the one thing is, him using this scatter shot right here, it is going to get Absolute Dragon off the field, and obviously that's going to bring out Vortex Dragon. So that was kind of like a take the good with the bad, because you're bringing out a really big monster that your opponent can probably wreck you with, because it has a little bit of negations. But I mean, I think he feels kind of okay about his position. He's going to try to use the Paleo Book of Moon on Vortex. Vortex negates it. I guess it's fine with that negation there, and he has a little bit more damage. So at this point, it's a little testy. Volcanics definitely have their backs to the wall, but you can see that Phoenix Chain that he has is a really nice touch. Decks like Teller Knights and Volcanics will still run Phoenix Chain, because in this deck you have Magic Planner, and Teller Knights you have Trevere, which you can bounce to your hand. It's going to go with Jar of Avarice. I think he's really trying to just bait the Vortex out, but most players are probably not going to take this bait. It's a draw 1. I don't think anyone's going to do that, but he's able to get his scatter shots back into his deck, and he drew one, which was how spicy was that? He's going to go reload. That's going to get negated, or at least he's going to attempt to negate that. But Phoenix Chain, an old school card from Zexal. What set was that? Raging? No, that's a 5D set. I don't know. Anyways, he's going to activate the Phoenix Chain. That's going to negate the Vortex, and that's going to go ahead and pop it. Man, that's going to be stuck on my mind all day. What set is? Leave that in the comment section below. I know it's from a Zexal set, and he's going to lose his field. Obviously, that's the 3rd time that he got hit with Scattershot there. And I feel like pendulums, even though you have that ridiculously high ceiling, I mean, how many times can you get hit with scatter shot and still have the will to go on? He's going to make a totally awesome, because he kept reviving his Paleozoics, and then he can just normal summon the copy of Rocket, and he can simply attack for game. I feel like Man, that's just good. It's gonna constantly bug me about what set that card came out. This is super rare, and I feel like it was about the fourth set from Zexal. What would that be? Order of what came after Order of Chaos? Anyways, I forget. But you guys, let me know what you thought of this duel. Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing with pendulums. Otherwise, your boards they can get cracked kind of easily. Although maybe it was just an unfortunate matchup that he ran into, where your opponent can kind of nuke your board every other turn with the scatter shots. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos. You know what? This was bugging me so much, I had to actually go and look it up. Turns out, Venus Chain is not even a Zexal card. It came out in 5Ds, Absolute Power Force. The more you know.